Chapter 1. The Prayer of Power. Listen carefully. Every human that has ever walked this planet has felt it. Weakness. That moment where the weight of life crashes down like a tidal wave. Some prayed on their knees, some prayed in silence. Some screamed into the void, but deep down every single one of them wanted the same thing: power. The raw force to rise, to fight, to dominate, to refuse defeat. You don't pray for power because you want it. You pray for power because without it, you are prey. The wolves of life are out there, and they don't wait for you to get ready. You either roar or you get torn apart. And this prayer, this decree, is your roar. It's not a request. It's not a polite whisper. It's a command issued to the universe itself. When you speak these words, you are not begging some distant god to notice you. No. You are declaring war against weakness, against fear, against hesitation. This is Wall Street spirituality. You shout your truth, you call your shot, and you cash the check before the deal is signed. Power is not given, power is taken. And this prayer is how you take it. Now, stand tall, breathe deep, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you release this decree, you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You become the storm. You become the lion. You become the unshakable, untouchable, unbreakable force that the world bows to. Here it is, the first decree, the prayer of power. The decree I declare and I command. The weakness in me is shattered now. Every doubt, every chain, every shadow broken. I ignite the fire of power in my blood. I walk as strength. I speak as force. I breathe as dominance. No obstacle has weight before me. No fear has voice against me. I am unmovable. I am unstoppable. Power is not outside me. Power is me. And today I unleash it without restraint. Chapter 2. The Prayer of Wealth, Money. Some people whisper about it, some pretend they don't care, and some bow down to it like slaves. But here's the truth that the world hides under shame and false humility. Wealth is not evil. Wealth is freedom on paper. Wealth is options made flesh. Wealth is the fuel that turns ideas into empires. Every prayer for wealth in history has been the same. Kings, merchants, farmers, hustlers, all crying out for the chance to break chains, to build something that lasts, to feed generations. The difference between the rich and the poor is simple. One side prays with hope, the other side decrees with certainty. This is not a prayer of begging. This is not you knocking at heaven's door asking for pocket change. This is you standing in the marketplace of destiny, slamming your fist on the table and declaring that the flow of abundance bends to you. Wealth is not random. Wealth is energy, and energy moves to command. So when you decree, the rivers of prosperity have no choice but to rearrange, to carve new channels, to crash into your life like a flood that can't be stopped. Now hear this. You don't pray for wealth to impress. You don't pray for wealth to boast. You pray for wealth because without it, your vision suffocates. Without it, your family crawls when they should fly. Without it, the wolves of debt eat you alive. This decree is the fire that flips the script. Here it comes. Don't whisper this, roar it. The decree I declare and I command. I am the magnet of wealth. Every river of money bends its course toward me. I break the curse of lack. It has no seat in my house. Every dollar, every contract, every door of opportunity opens now. I walk as prosperity. I breathe as abundance. I move as dominion. I don't chase wealth. Wealth chases me. And I decree today, I will never taste poverty again. Money obeys me because money was made for me. Let that sink in. Let it burn into your chest. Wealth is not far from you. Wealth is your servant. And when you pray like this, when you decree like this, you don't wait for blessings. You drag them to your doorstep and chain them to your name. Chapter 2 closes with a truth most people never accept. Money is not evil. Power in the wrong hands is. But in your hands, it's a weapon. And this prayer just loaded it. Chapter 3, the prayer of protection. Let's get something straight. The world is not safe, never has been. Behind every smile there's envy. Behind every handshake there's someone counting your weaknesses. Behind every corner there's a shadow that wants to take what you've built. And that's why humans pray for protection. Not because they're paranoid, because they're awake. Think of every empire that collapsed, every king betrayed, every family destroyed. The attack doesn't always come from armies. Sometimes it comes from whispers, from sickness, from hidden daggers you never see. That's why protection isn't optional. It's armor. It's fire around your fortress. It's the invisible shield that turns enemies into dust before they reach your gates. When most people pray for protection, they sound weak. They beg to be spared. They cry for pity. Wrong. That's slave mentality. Protection is not about fear, it's about dominion. When you decree this prayer, you don't ask to be hidden. You declare yourself untouchable. You walk like a storm that dares anyone to step into your path. Every warrior in history prayed for this, not just for their skin, but for their bloodline, their legacy, their empire. And now, it's your turn. This is not superstition. This is survival. This is war. So take this decree and speak it like thunder. This isn't about safety. This is about becoming a fortress nobody can breach. The decree, I declare and I command. No weapon formed against me will stand. Every curse, every plot, every hand lifted against me, shattered now. I am fire to my enemies and light to my allies. My house is untouchable. My family is unbreakable. My future is unstealable. The shadow flees before me. The hunter becomes the prey. Protection is not given. It is my nature. I am shielded by power, wrapped in fire, armed by heaven. And I decree, no force alive or dead can touch what is mine. Now listen, when you pray this, you don't walk out into the world timid. You walk out like a lion wearing armor. You walk out like the deal is already signed, sealed, delivered. The enemy doesn't need to believe you. The universe already does. This closes chapter 3. Protection is not passive, it's aggressive. It's declaring war on every shadow that thinks it can touch you. Now to chapter 4, the prayer of clarity. Look around. The biggest tragedies in human history didn't happen because people were weak. They happened because people were blind. Wrong decisions, wrong alliances, wrong moves at the wrong time. That's why clarity is priceless. Power without clarity is a loaded gun pointed at your own chest. Wealth without clarity is chains made of gold. Every empire that rose started with one thing: vision. The ability to see through lies, to pierce fog, to read the invisible writing on the walls of destiny. People pray for clarity because confusion is the silent killer. Doubt robs time. Uncertainty drains energy. And hesitation? That's the assassin of opportunity. When most pray for clarity, they ask for signs. They beg for someone else to decide. Wrong again. Clarity doesn't come from outside. Clarity is already inside you, buried under noise. The decree isn't about asking for directions. It's about demanding that every false voice shuts up, that the fog lifts and that truth steps forward like a soldier reporting for duty. Think about it. Generals before war, traders before billion-dollar moves, fathers before guiding their children, all of them needed clarity. Not guesses, not maybe. Absolute vision. Because when you see clearly, you move like lightning. And lightning doesn't apologize. So when you speak this decree, understand, you are ripping blindfolds, burning illusions, and standing in naked truth. This is how warriors think. This is how kings decide. This is how you win. The decree, I declare and I command. Every fog in my mind burns now. Every lie, every distraction, every counterfeit voice silenced. I see with precision. I decide with accuracy. Truth is my compass. Wisdom is my armor. I cut through confusion with the edge of clarity. I do not guess. I do not hesitate. I do not fear. My path is lit. My choices are sharp. My future is certain. And I decree, I walk with vision that cannot fail. Now let it settle. Feel it. Clarity isn't soft. Clarity is a blade. And when you pray like this, you stop stumbling in the dark and start carving straight lines through destiny. Chapter 4 closes with a warning. Those who live blind will always be slaves to those who see. And you? You just opened your eyes. Chapter 5, the prayer of healing pain. That's the language the body screams when something inside has been broken, poisoned, or drained. Humans pray for healing because when health collapses, every dream collapses with it. Power is useless in a hospital bed. Wealth is a prison when you can't breathe. Protection feels meaningless when the enemy is your own body. History is carved with stories of warriors, kings, leaders who begged for just one thing: more time, more strength, more health. Because deep down we all know the truth. When the body fails, everything else falls like dominoes. Healing is not luxury. Healing is survival. But listen carefully. When most people pray for healing, they pray like victims. They see themselves as broken glass waiting to be glued back together. That's weakness. True healing doesn't come from crawling. It comes from commanding your body to remember what it was built for: resilience, regeneration, raw life force. Every cell in your body carries a memory, the original blueprint. That blueprint doesn't know sickness, it doesn't know weakness. It only knows strength, balance, fire. When you decree healing, you don't ask your body to recover. You command it to return to its original design. Think like a general. Your body is your army. Cells are your soldiers. And when they're under attack, you don't sit there and cry. You stand up, roar orders, and reorganize the entire battlefield. That's what this decree does. It calls your army back to attention. The decree. I declare and I command. Every cell in my body ignites with life. Sickness, pain, weakness out now. My blood flows strong, my heart beats like thunder, my bones hold fire. I am not a victim of illness. I am the commander of health. Every organ, every nerve, every breath aligns to strength. Regeneration floods me, renewal rebuilds me. I do not shrink, I do not wither. I decree I am healed, whole, and unstoppable. Let that sink into your skin. Healing isn't a wish. Healing is a takeover. When you pray this way, you're not asking to be spared. You're commanding your body to rise like an empire from the ashes. Chapter 5 closes with this truth. Sickness is an enemy, and enemies don't get negotiated with. They get crushed. Do you want me? Locked. We move into the most dangerous and desired battlefield of all, love. Chapter 6, the prayer of love. Let's strip away the lies. People pray for love not because it's pretty, but because it's power. Love is fuel. Love is fire. Love is the one force that can drive kings to war, mothers to sacrifice, hustlers to grind, and men to build monuments that last beyond death. Why do humans crave it? Because love is connection. And without connection, power rots. Wealth feels empty, protection turns into paranoia, and healing feels pointless. Love is the glue that makes every victory worth something. But here's the danger. Most people pray for love like beggars. They ask for someone to come fix their emptiness. That's why they end up broken, betrayed, used. True love doesn't come to the needy. It comes to the magnetic. It comes to those who are whole, blazing, and alive with purpose. That's the secret nobody tells you. You don't chase love. You radiate it. You don't ask for it. You decree it. And the right people, the right bonds, the right relationships bend their orbit toward you like planets pulled by gravity. History is filled with fools who begged for love and lost everything. But it's also filled with warriors who commanded love and built dynasties. That's what this prayer is about. Not soft whispers, not lonely tears. This is about attraction forged in fire. This is about becoming a living magnet for loyalty, passion, and unbreakable bonds. Speak this decree like it's lightning ripping through the sky, because that's exactly what it is. The decree. I declare and I command. I radiate love like fire. Every bond I attract is strong, loyal, and true. No betrayal can touch me. No counterfeit can fool me. I draw to me the souls who amplify my destiny. I walk as magnetism. I breathe as passion. I shine as connection. Loneliness has no throne in my life. I am whole, I am chosen, I am unstoppable, and I decree, the love I carry creates a legacy that cannot die. Let that settle deep. Love is not weakness. Love is not a crutch. Love is a weapon, and in your hands it builds empires. When you decree like this, you don't beg for scraps. You command loyalty, you command passion, you command destiny to bring the right people to your side. Chapter 6 closes with a warning. Love is power. And power is either mastered or it masters you. Chapter 7, the prayer of justice. Here's the truth. The world isn't fair. It never has been. Empires rise on the backs of slaves. Kings feast while peasants starve. Thieves smile while the righteous bleed. That's why humans pray for justice. Because deep in the soul there's a demand, a hunger for balance, for the scales to tip back where they belong. But listen carefully. Most people pray for justice like cowards. They sit and wait for karma, as if justice is some lazy clerk that will get to their file eventually. Wrong. Justice isn't passive. Justice is a hammer. Justice is a sword. And when you decree it, you don't wait for payback, you summon it. Think of every revolution, every uprising, every moment in history when the oppressed stood up and said enough. That wasn't chance. That was a prayer of justice becoming flesh. It was men and women declaring that the tables turn now, that the wicked pay, that the crooked are exposed, and that the throne is reclaimed. Justice is dangerous. That's why the corrupt fear it. That's why the greedy try to silence it. But when you unleash this decree, you become the voice of balance. You become the storm that exposes every lie and crushes every oppressor. Now steel your voice. Speak this not as a victim, but as the executioner of destiny's law. The decree. I declare and I command. Every injustice against me is overturned now. Every thief is exposed. Every betrayer is judged. Every oppressor is broken. I do not wait for balance, I create it. I summon the hammer of justice on every false throne. I decree the crooked will fall, the righteous will rise, and the truth will reign. No plot against me will succeed, no lie will outlast me. I am the storm of fairness, the voice of balance, the fire of divine order. And I decree, justice is mine, and it will not be delayed. Hear me, this prayer is not soft, this prayer is not polite. It's vengeance wrapped in righteousness. It's fire that burns every chain and consumes every shadow. Chapter 7 closes with this reality. The wicked thrive only when the righteous stay silent. But you just declared war, and justice is marching to your side. Chapter 8, the prayer of legacy. Listen to me, every man dies, every woman dies, but not everyone is remembered. That's why humans pray for legacy. Because deep inside, nobody wants to vanish like smoke in the wind. We want our names to echo. We want our blood to matter. We want our lives to leave fingerprints on eternity. Legacy is why pyramids were built. Legacy is why empires rose. Legacy is why artists bled on canvases, why warriors carved history with their swords, why fathers and mothers gave everything to raise children who would go further than they could. Legacy is the hunger to be more than bones in the ground. Most people pray for legacy without knowing it. They pray for their children, their work, their reputation. But here's the secret. Legacy doesn't happen by chance. It happens by decree. If you don't command it, you vanish. If you don't seal it, the world forgets you. Legacy is not gifted. It's written in fire by those who dare to demand it. You are not here just to breathe, eat, and die. You are here to plant something so powerful that centuries from now people will still feel your ripple. That's why this prayer matters. When you decree it, you bind your existence to destiny's memory. You make it impossible to be erased. So speak it like you're carving your name into stone that will never break. The decree I declare and I command. My life is not wasted. My name is not forgotten. I plant seeds that grow beyond centuries. My children rise stronger. My work roars louder. My impact stretches wider. I am not dust. I am fire etched into history. Every step I take builds a monument that cannot fall. Every word I speak echoes past my death. I decree, my legacy is sealed, my name immortal, my blood eternal. That's the truth. Legacy is not for the weak. It's for those who dare to stand taller than time. When you pray like this, you don't live for today. You live for eternity. Chapter 8 closes with this warning. The world buries the silent, but it cannot bury the unshakable, and now you've made yourself unshakable. Do you want me to storm ahead into Chapter 9, the prayer of war, the decree for battle, crisis, and ultimate victory, or do you want me to pause so you can feel the weight of these 8 before we bring the last 2? Perfect. No mercy. We're heading straight into the fire. War. The battlefield of survival and dominance. Chapter 9. The prayer of war. Let's face it. Life is not a playground. It's a battlefield. Every day you wake up, you're at war. War against doubt. War against fear. War against debt. War against the vultures that want to strip your bones clean. That's why humans pray in war, because when the fight gets bloody, you need more than fists. You need fire from heaven. Every soldier that charged, every general that commanded, every rebel that rose from chains, they prayed. Not as cowards begging to be spared, but as warriors demanding victory. Because war has one law. Winners write history, losers vanish. And prayer in war is not surrender. It's the roar that bends destiny to your side. Understand this. You can't pray for peace if you haven't earned it through war. And you can't pray for victory if you still think like a victim. The prayer of war is not weakness, it's declaration. It's you stepping into the arena of life with your chest high, your fists clenched, and your voice shaking the ground like thunder. When you speak this decree, you're not asking to survive the fight. You're commanding that every enemy bows before you, that every obstacle collapses, that every battlefield becomes your empire. Now, steel your lungs. Let it tear out of you like a battle cry. The decree, I declare and I command. I was not born to lose. Every enemy before me collapses. Every plot, every weapon, every storm raised against me destroyed. I fight with fire in my bones and victory in my blood. Fear bows, doubt dies, weakness burns. I do not retreat, I do not break, I do not fall. I decree, I am the storm, I am the sword, I am the war, and every battle before me ends in my victory. Hear me, this prayer is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who understand that life is war, and the only law in war is win or die. And with this decree, you don't just fight, you guarantee victory before the first strike lands. Chapter 9 closes with this unshakable truth. Peace belongs to those who dominate war, and you just declared yourself its master. Ready to hit the final chapter, the prayer of dominion, the decree where everything unites and you seize full ownership of your existence? Perfect. We arrive at the apex, the culmination, the ultimate battlefield where everything converges, dominion. This is the prayer that makes every other prayer obey, every decree bow, and every force in your life align to you. Chapter 10, the prayer of dominion. Listen closely. This is not a prayer for comfort. This is not a prayer for mercy. This is a prayer for total control. Dominion is the final step. It's the point where power, wealth, protection, clarity, healing, love, justice, legacy, and war all bow to your command. Humans dream of dominion because deep down, we all want to master life itself, to bend time, to carve fate, to stand at the apex where nothing touches us except what we allow. But most people never reach it. They whisper, they wish, they settle. Dominion is not given. Dominion is claimed, and it's claimed with fire, with voice, with unstoppable authority. When you pray this prayer, you do not plead for alignment. You demand it. The universe doesn't ignore dominion. It answers it. Every law of nature, every river of fortune, every whisper of destiny is forced to march at your command. This is the summit of power. This is the apex where humans become untouchable, unstoppable, eternal. Now take a deep breath. Feel every prayer you've spoken before converge into a single point. Power, wealth, protection, clarity, healing, love, justice, legacy, war, all flowing into you. And now you claim it. The decree I declare and I command. I am master of my existence. Every force in the universe answers my call. Power bows, wealth obeys, protection surrounds, clarity guides, healing restores, love multiplies, justice balances, legacy endures, war yields victory. I am the axis around which destiny spins. I do not negotiate, I do not hesitate, I do not fail. I decree, my life, my world, my reality are mine to command. All that is aligned to my will, and I stand now absolute, eternal, unshakable. This is it. Dominion is not soft. Dominion is not polite. Dominion is the roar that rewrites reality, the fire that forces the universe to kneel, the storm that leaves nothing unclaimed. Chapter 10 closes the book not with an ending, but with the beginning of your absolute rule over your life. Every prayer before this was practice. Every decree before this was preparation. And now you are sovereign. You now have a full 10-chapter Wall Street-style audiobook of prayers and decrees, each chapter carrying a distinct battlefield. Power, wealth, protection, clarity, healing, love, justice, legacy, war, and dominion.